Hello students, our today's topic is incentives. Now in our last lecture we learnt about motivation. We learnt that motivation helps the employees working in the organization to contribute to their maximum, whatever they are capable of, because it is through motivation that the needs of an individual is satisfied. And once the needs are satisfied, we see that an employee is encouraged in the organization to improve its performance and reach to the highest standard which one is capable of. And that also benefits the organization on the whole. So when we talk about motivation, we have learned that to satisfy the needs of the individual in the organization, because different individuals, they can have different types of needs. Some of the needs may be associated with financial needs, some may be associated with non-financial needs. So associated with it is the incentives about which we are going to talk. Incentives are the measures, let us see what is incentive, are the measures used for motivating employees to improve their work performance. So incentives are the measures, very important. And these measures, when we say, can be both financial or non-financial. Because sometimes there is financial needs to be fulfilled, sometimes it's not only financial needs but also psychological needs, emotional needs, esteem needs, social needs, which an employee wants to fulfill in the organization. That is why he or she has joined the organization. That is why incentives, they are broadly classified into two types. One is the financial incentives and another is non-financial incentives. So incentives are the measures used for motivating. When we say financial incentives, that means financial incentives are those monetary measures. Financial means which can be measured in terms of money, estimated in terms of money. So financial incentives are those monetary measures which are used for motivating employees to improve their work performance. And when we say non-financial incentives, that means they are non-monetary measures which are used for motivating. So apart from monetary measures or financial measures, then can be non-financial measures also. I told you very well that not only is the need for money important for the employees, but there are different other types of needs which the employees want to fulfill once they join the organization, and those needs can be fulfilled with the help of non-financial incentives. Although we see that sometimes non-financial incentives also provide financial benefits. For example, if a person is in search of promotion or waiting for his promotion, or a person's promotion is due, then along with promotion is not a financial incentive. Promotion enhances the self-esteem of a person. So in a way, it fulfills the self-esteem needs. We learned while we were talking about the types of need in Maslow's need hierarchy theory. One type of need is, according to Maslow, is self-esteem need, which a person wants to fulfill. And if a person gets promotion, then along with the rise in the status of a person through promotion, we see that the financial benefit the person also gets. But there, the need of the employee is not to gain financially, but to achieve higher rank in the organization. And that is why we see that in that case, in case of promotion or in case of needs which include non-financial incentive needs, which includes non-financial ways to fulfill the needs, sometimes financial, you may say, benefits are also provided to the employees. But in that case, we see that always the non-financial aspect is above the financial aspect. So let us learn about the various types of financial and non-financial incentives which an organization can provide to its employees for motivating them to improve their work performance. First of all, we will be taking the financial incentives. You can see there are 6-7 types of financial incentives: pay and allowances, productivity linked wage incentive, bonus, profit sharing, co-partnership or stock option, retirement benefits, and perquisites. That means there are 7 types. In the exams, it may be asked, it may come in the form of direct questions or indirect questions. Sometimes an explanation of any of the financial or non-financial incentive is given in the case study, and there you are asked to identify which type of incentive is this, and related question associated with it is also asked. So be prepared for that. Now when we talk about the type of financial incentive, the first is pay and allowances. Now we all know that each and every employee joins the organization to get pay. If a person works, he or she should be paid for the work which he or she is putting in the organization, and that pay is in the form of salary. Salary is given to each and every employee, and salary always a motivator. Salary includes what all things? Salary includes basic pay, dearness allowance, and other allowances. In an organization, the salary system should be such that there should be also be the provision of increments provided to the employees every year, so that the salary hike can also be given to the person or to the employees who are working in the organization. Also, time to time, there can be provision of allowances to be provided to the employees in the organization, and that includes pay and allowance. That is the pay structure of any organization, and that is part of financial incentive, because always the salary or the wage that is estimated in monetary terms and provided to the employees. Now, second type of financial incentive is productivity linked wage incentive. From the very name itself, I think it's very clear. Productivity linked wage incentive means remuneration that is provided or that is given to the employees on the basis of their performance. Wage incentive is based on the performance. It is linked to the performance which the employee is putting in the work, and that has to be estimated, and this estimation can be done at individual level or at group level. Higher is the performance, better will be the wage or the salary. Lower is the performance, we see that automatically the wage or the salary will be less. And such type of productivity linked wage incentive always encourages a worker, both those who are efficient workers, that means they are performing above standard or up to standard, to uh, give better, and those who are below standard, they are also motivated when there is difference in the wage because of their performance. We see that an inefficient worker is also motivated to improve his or her performance. So second type, the third financial incentive is the bonus. Bonus is the type of incentive which is paid over and above the wage and salary to any employee in the organization. Many times we have seen that during the festival time, bonus is provided to the employees. And this bonus is a motivator, because once that bonus extra money is provided to the workers, especially it is given to the workers class, it is given, they are in a position to enjoy and celebrate the upcoming event, and that is really a motivator. Then comes, incentive over and above the wage and salary, that is what is bonus. Profit sharing. Sometimes we see that the employees working in the organization, they are also provided the share in profit which the organization is making. And if they are provided share in the profit of company, the employees feel motivated, the employees feel encouraged, they feel to improve their productivity, they feel to increase their efficiency more and more, so that more and more profit the organization may achieve, and they may also have a share in it. So they feel, and the organization also makes them feel that because of their contribution, the organization is getting so much profit, which they are sharing with them, as a result of which they are considered as part and parcel of the organization, which motivates the employees. Then comes co-partnership or stock option. Please, students, I just need to remind you that don't be confused with this profit sharing and co-partnership stock option. When we say profit sharing, that means share in the profit of the company. When we say co-partnership, other name is stock option, that means the organization provides to its employees shares, offer of shares. This is what is called stock option. And once the shares, they are taken up by the employees or the, you may say, workers of the organization, they become the co-partner of the organization. Purchasing the share of the company gives the ownership right, and a person becomes a shareholder. So that option is provided to the employees of the company to encourage them, to motivate them. So always, if this option is provided to the employees of the company to purchase the shares of the company always sees that the shares which is offered to their employees, it is provided at a lower rate than the market rate. The price of shares which is offered to the employees, it is below the market rate, so that they feel motivated that the company wants them to be the owners of the organization, as a result of which a feeling of ownership that develops in the employees, and that helps the organization also, because the commitment of the employees increases towards work, and they contribute wholeheartedly towards the improvement of the organization's performance. We can take the example of Infosys. Infosys is one such organization which provides this stock option to its employees. Then we move on to the next point, that is retirement benefit. Retirement benefit is one such type of benefit which can make the lifespan after retiring comfortable of a person. When when a person, you may say, joins the organization, and if the organization provides retirement benefits, which may be in the form of PF, which may be in the form of pension, which may be in the form of gratuity, sometimes all these three provisions are also there in the organization, an employee is attracted towards that kind of job. Because after retirement, if such types of benefits is provided, the remaining life of a person becomes secure. And that gives a kind of emotional satisfaction, psychological relief to a person. And that motivates a person towards such type of job. Especially in the government organization, why do the people feel that they should be in the government organizations? Because such types of benefits we see is more in the government organizations as compared to the private organizations, where they feel this kind of life security. They will not be, you may say, in any kind of stress after retirement to arrange for money. That is why it is a big relief to the people. And the last, that is perquisites. Perquisites are the benefits. It is also called the fringe benefits, which is provided to the employees. They may be in the form of housing facilities. We see that the organization pays for the house which an employee is provided or which an employee takes. Sometimes car allowance is also provided. That is also a kind of facility. Medical expenses, they are reimbursed. That is again a kind of financial incentive which is provided to the employees, for which the organization pays. Also, sometimes there is the provision of free education for the children. These are some of the examples of the employees. And that are the various kinds of perquisites, or they are also called fringe benefits, which is provided to the employees, and it comes in the category of financial incentives. So these are some types of incentives which are always in direct monetary form, and that is why we see that it has money value and it can be estimated in terms of money. That is why it is financial. Now we are moving on to another type of incentive. Basically, we see that these financial incentives, they are able to meet the physiological needs and the safety and the security needs of a person. But we have seen the categories of needs. It's not only basic needs or safety and security needs. There are social needs also. There are esteem needs also. Self-actualization needs also, which a person has. And that is why only money, or you may say monetary aspects, cannot satisfy a person completely. Apart from that, there is also need for non-monetary aspects which can give, you may say, psychological or emotional satisfaction to a person. And that is also very important, especially once we start moving up from lower level positions to higher level positions in the organization, the need for non-financial incentives increase in comparison to financial incentives. Let us talk about these non-financial incentives one by one. The first is the status. Now, what is status? Status, it basically refers to the rank or the job position which an employee holds in the organization. We see that as the employee goes to the higher rank, his status also rises in the organization, and with the higher position or higher rank in the organization, the responsibility also increases, the prestige of a person also increases, a person is recognized in the society, recognition is more, prestige is more, and also the chances of being rewarded is also more. That is why we see that status motivates a person to a great extent, and it basically helps in fulfilling the esteem needs of a person. That is why we can take the example of promotion. Promotion enhances the status of a person. If a person needs promotion, then yesterday also in my last lecture I explained to you that increase in pay is not going to satisfy a person. If a person feels the need for promotion, and unless and until that promotion is provided to the person which will increase the status of a person, the self-esteem of a person cannot be enhanced. So it gives a kind of psychological satisfaction, status. The second type of non-financial incentive is organizational climate. When we say climate, how does a person or an employee perceive the organization? That is what is the organizational climate. And what can be the various factors on the basis of which that perception can be created in the mind of a person, in the mind of the employees? Why do we say that there is always a difference in the organizational climate of one organization with another organization? One organization's organizational climate can be distinguished from that of other organizations on the basis of some of the factors. What can be those factors? On the basis of autonomy, first of all. If the employees are given more autonomy in one organization as compared to other, the climate certainly differs. If risk-taking appetite, that may differ from organization to organization, and that differentiates the organizational climate of one organization with that of another. Concern and consideration, third aspect. Concern and consideration which is given to the employees in the organization, how far the employees are considered important, their suggestions, their advice, how far they are taken into consideration, that also creates a difference in the organizational climate, and that impacts the mind of a person, and a person perceives the organization in that way. So sometimes we see that also creates a difference in the work climate of any organization. How, to what extent you are given the autonomy, to what extent you are allowed to take risk, to what extent your decisions are considered important, or your say is there in the organization. All these things, it creates an organizational climate. I remember in 1 year, these factors, they were asked in questions. In 3-mark question, there was a related with organizational climate. There was a case study in which organizational climate was explained, and it was asked to identify which type of financial incentive is this. And explain, related question was, explain any two such type of incentives in detail apart from what has been given in the case. So such questions are there, you need to identify it in that manner. Then we move on to the next non-financial incentive, that is career advancement opportunities. When an employee joins the organization, always with an expectation, with an aspiration that an opportunity will be provided in the organization to move to higher level positions, because everyone has a dream in life, and that dream can only be fulfilled once there is a possibility of career promotion. And that career promotion can be given to an employee by providing skill development programs, because through proper training, by providing the different types of skills to an employee can be, if an employee works efficiently, he can be considered for promotion. And if a person is promoted, that means the career advancement opportunity is provided to the person. So always there should also be a promotion policy in the organization, so that an employee feels that he or she is rising up in the career. That is also one of the incentive, which a part of non-financial incentive, which motivates a person to work. If in an organization there are better promotion avenues, then an organization attracts employees more. So in this way we see that it is. Then comes the next, is the job enrichment. Sometimes an employee always feels that he or she working in the organization should be learning different types of work. That means versatility or diversity in the nature of work is always welcomed by the employees. That can only be provided to the employees. That means in that case, enriching the job by equipping the employees with different skills, by learning different types of jobs, diversity in the job, by giving challenges every day once he comes to work in the organization, encourages a person. So that is what is related with job enrichment. If challenge, sometimes an employee likes, which is provided in the organization, variety of work is provided which doesn't make the work boring or monotonous, you may say, or additional responsibility can also be the way through which job enrichment can be done, so that a person can learn different types of jobs. That means in a way always the job should be made interesting for the employees in the organization, for such types of employees who are in search of job enrichment in the organization. If the same nature of job is there, sometimes the employee feels frustrated because it becomes boring for a person. So those who are in need of job enrichment should be provided either challenging or varieties, or you may say additional responsibilities, or make the job interesting so that every day it attracts a person and motivates with an aspiration to learn something new in the organization, and that always is a source of encouragement. Then comes job security. This is something which provides a psychological satisfaction to the people, because job security means continuity of the job. You will not be asked to leave the organization. If that assurance is there, then it gives a kind of emotional satisfaction, psychological satisfaction to the person. So it has its advantages and disadvantages. When we say advantages, job security always gives a sense of stability, and this job continuity, it always relieves stress. If the job is not in continuity, if that security is not provided, always the employee will come in a stressful mood, and that will not allow a person to work wholeheartedly. So that security provides and relieves a person from all kinds of stress. But the greatest disadvantage of the job security is that if sometimes in an organization it is found that when the employee starts feeling that his or her job is secured and no one can fire them, then what happens? They become lazy. They take it for granted. They become evasive. They become job shirkers. And that impacts the organization adversely. So it has its own merits and demerits. Sometimes the demerit is also asked. In one mark it may be asked in the exam, the demerit of job security. It makes the person evasive, lazy, shirker, anything you can say. Now, next is employee recognition program. In an organization, if the appreciation for the work is not provided to the employees, sometimes it demotivates the employees. If the employee is working and giving very good performance, there should always be a way of appreciating the efforts of the employees, and that can be through employee recognition program. If the organization has employee recognition, is an act of acknowledgement with the show of appreciation, and that act of acknowledgement can be in various ways. On this part, many times this type of non-financial incentive has been asked in the exam. Give an example of employee recognition program, or the example may be cited and you may be asked to find out what type of incentive is this. Give, and related question maybe give other examples of such type of incentive. So when it is the show of appreciation by acknowledging the efforts of an employee working in the organization, there can be different techniques